Good morning, everyone. Time to gather, but I know the food is really good out there today. Very good. This is a song that was recorded years ago, and I don't know who by, but it was for one of the Disney movies. And whoever writes those, they're pretty clever. So here we go. I don't know if you can hear me, or if you're even there. I don't know if you will listen to this humble prayer. They tell me I am just an outcast, I shouldn't speak to you. But I see your face and often wonder, were you once an outcast too? God help the outcast, hungry from birth, seeking the mercy they don't find on earth. The lost and forgotten, they look to you still. God bless the outcast, or nobody will. I ask for nothing, I can get by, but I know so many less lucky than I. God help the outcast, the poor, the downtrodden. I thought we all were the children of God. I don't always understand this, why some seem blessed, some not, but still the few you seem to favor, they fear us, free us, try not to see us. God help the outcast, the tattered, the torn, seeking the reason to why they were born. The winds of misfortune have turned them about. God help the outcast, don't cast them out. The poor, the unlucky, the meek and the odd. I thought we all were the children of God.
Good morning on this beautiful Memorial Day weekend. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Springfield. We're honored and delighted that you have chosen to spend the morning with us, and we want to offer a very special welcome for anyone who might be here for the first time, And if you are, and you would like a welcome packet, raise your hands and our ushers would be happy to bring you one. Unity is a positive, practical, open-minded approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of affirmative prayer. We believe that all people are created with sacred worth, and we are free of discrimination on the basis of race, gender, age, creed, religion, ethnicity, ability, and sexual orientation. We honor all paths to God. As we begin today's service, please affirm with me Unity Spiritual Center of Springfield's core values. We are loving, accepting, spirit-filled, and joyous. And our vision, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, Unity Spiritual Center, is a loving environment that nurtures spiritual growth while serving one another and the world. And let us join in singing Surely the Presence as our ushers bring forward the prayer box. We open the service by lighting the Christ candle, which symbolizes the divinity within each one of us. And we ring the prayer bowl, allowing its vibrations to weave us together and ground us in the power and the presence of Spirit. For those of you who have prayer requests, I invite you to fill those out now, and our ushers will pick those up later in the service. But for now, hold those prayer requests in your heart as we pray together. Heavenly Father, Mother, beloved God, may we live in the presence of your love, your joy, your wisdom. May we feel your sweet presence in the beauty of a flower, the melody of a song, the aroma of nature's bounty. May we experience your presence everywhere in every moment of our lives. Peace, peace. Amen. I don't have Virginia here to do my clicker. So today's daily word. The word today is comfort. This is a Memorial Day reading. Loving memories comfort me. There may be days or maybe even weeks on the calendar when I find myself mysteriously feeling the melancholy or blueness, only to realize the anniversary of someone or something I have loved and lost is approaching. Even when I don't realize it outright, a part of me remembers and responds. I can honor these feelings as a way to honor the people and the places that have taught me and helped me evolve. Welcoming my feelings brings deep and abiding comfort. I carry those people and places I love with me in the things I do, keeping their spirit alive. Gradually, I find smiles within the sadness. Revisiting treasured memories reveals the love within the loss. The presence of God is found within the gift of each moment, and I find comfort through my grateful heart. And from Psalms 119, verse 76, let your steadfast love become my comfort according to your promise to your servant. The word today is comfort. So I'm going to introduce our speaker before we have special music, since he'll be doing our special music. And he and Domingo had a good laugh last time he was here. He wanted to close his ears during the introduction. We are so glad to have John Tuhawks back, our very good friend. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with John, he's a Grammy and Emmy-nominated recording artist, speaker, and activist whose music has been featured in movies by Fox, Searchlight, films by HBO, and programs on the History Channel. Thank you for being with us again.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's good to be back. Good to be here. Today we're going to do a talk that we've entitled, I need to look at it. It's up there. Nothing beautiful without struggle. And we're out the gate with struggle. How about that, huh? All right. It's pretty bad when you can't remember the title of your own talk. So I want to ask y'all a question. How many of y'all today, when you got ready to come over here, got out in front of your car and crank started it? Anybody? No? No crank start? How about when you got up and had to get ready and take a shower or bathe or whatever, did you have to go down to the river and gather water? Fill up your tub? Nobody had to do that either? You know, there's the old saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know why they say that? That's because in the old days, they used to fill up the tub one time. The man of the house would take his bath. The lady of the house would take her bath. Then the kids. And the last one to get the bath was the baby. And the water was so dirty that if you drop the baby down in the water, you might not know it's there. You might throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's where that actually comes from. We are creatures who like convenience. We like comfort. We like to seek out ways to make our lives better, more comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with seeking comfort. Nothing wrong with seeking to make something easier to do. Those are all positive things. But there's a detriment that we have that comes with that. And that we found ourselves kind of now in today's world in this place where we are, where we have so much convenience and so much comfort, so many kind of automated things that do stuff for us. You know, we can turn a knob in our house and the water comes out. We hardly think anymore about where that water's coming from, you know? We don't think anymore much about the food that's in our refrigerator or that's in our cupboard, where it came from, what it took to make that food. We don't give it a lot of thought anymore, whereas if you go back not very long ago, our ancestors all had to think about all those things. They had to grow their own food, hunt their own food, gather their own food, or they starved to death. They had to go down to the river to bathe or bring the water to the house. Fast forward to the time of, the early automobiles. They didn't start without the crank, You had to get out and crank that sucker to get it to go. And so things were harder and there was more struggle. Things were more challenging for us. And also at the same time, as they were more challenging, it also tied us to the sources of our well-being more intimately than we are today. So we almost in a way take for granted the very things that provide us sustenance, our food, our water, our climate, heat in the house in the winter. We turn on a switch on the wall, whereas our ancestors had to go get the wood, figure out how to make a fire. A lot more work involved, a lot more struggle involved. And so we are creatures that crave comfort but need struggle. We need it. It's an important part of the process of this whole life. Ladies, anybody here given birth to a baby? Y'all know what struggle is more than anyone else in here, all right? But at the end of that process, that 9-month struggle, and the most intense part of the giving birth process, what comes forth? This amazing, beautiful new life. That's what comes forth from all of that struggle. New life. Everything in the world, we look out the window, all of the natural world, it's all born of struggle. Every blade of grass that pushes up through the soil has to strive to get there. Every flower that pops open and gives us its beauty does so in struggle. It has to strain and push and reach to grab the sunlight and to pull the water from the soil and to push itself up out of the dirt. And in doing so, it gives us its beautiful color and shines its light into the world. And so it's the struggle itself that births the beauty in the world that we live in. It births life itself, all around us. We have manicured our world. We've manicured it to the point where we forget that the manicuring is us. It's not natural. The natural world looks to our manicured mind as if it's a mess, as if there's chaos, as if there isn't order, when in fact that is the natural order. The natural order is messy. The storms come and knock down old branches, knock down old trees, mess things up. And it's in that messiness that new life comes forth. That's the struggle. That's the whole circle of the journey of this life. Struggle, birth, death, rebirth. It's part of the process. It's part of the whole makeup of everything is struggle. And yet, what do we as human beings do? We run from it. Yeah. We run from struggle. We don't want struggle. Who does? Who wants struggle? Who goes looking for it? Anybody have struggle? Anybody go look for that struggle? Not really, right? But struggle inevitably comes, doesn't it? For all of us. It sure does. There's a song by Mark Cohn that I love called Miles Away. And it said, one of the lines in it is just great. It says, I know there's going to be a lesson somewhere. I'm going to think a lot about it later. But right now, I'm miles away. Ever been there? Yeah. We've all been there. So I'm not saying that when you're in the midst of a struggle that you're supposed to be all grinny. Look at me, I'm struggling. Isn't this great? But keep in mind when you're in the midst of struggle that something is going to come out of this. Yeah. Something around the bend is going to unfold from this. I was chatting before the service, and I was talking with Andy here, and we were talking about resistance training a little bit. It's one of the things I do. I do resistance training, and I lift weights 6 days a week. And I know a lot about what all that is. When you put resistance on a muscle, it breaks it apart. People think that you build muscle in the gym. You don't build muscle in the gym. You build muscle when you sleep. What you do in the gym is break down the muscle. You make the muscle struggle. And it's in the struggle that when you sleep, the muscle gets stronger. So it's after the struggle when the healing comes, right? It's after you struggle. When that struggle's behind you, then that's the moment when you can kind of catch your breath, and you can start that process of healing and becoming stronger and learning from the struggle that you've been through. So I want to talk to you today about music. I was recently at a conference in Nashville, and there was a lot of great information. Met a lot of really nice people, a lot of people in the music business and stuff. It was really interesting. The music business is an incredibly complex and complicated thing. And there are a lot of moving parts. And so it was really good for me, being a musician who's been doing this for 25, 30 years, to go and to see some of the newer moving parts that I'm not exactly familiar with yet. And so I learned a lot. But of course, inevitably, we came to this discussion about AI. Artificial intelligence, right? So this one of the presenters got up in front of everybody and talked about AI. And he made the argument that everybody's doing it, so you should be doing it too. Because if you're not doing it, you're going to get left behind. That's the mentality, right? So you need to be doing it. You need to be using it, okay? And then he actually had a guy come up on stage and tell a story, and he was a hip-hop artist. And he said, okay, we're going to write a hip-hop song using this AI. He projected it on the screen behind him. We're going to do a hip-hop song using AI. And I want you to tell me what the song should be about. So the young man said, make it about rising up from poverty and claiming your dreams. So he types this into this AI right in front of us. Give me a hip-hop song about rising up from your dreams, rising up from your poverty, and claiming your dreams. He clicks the enter button, and in less than 15 seconds, there is an entire hip-hop lyric sheet in front of us. And it is absolutely phenomenal. I mean phenomenal. You cannot believe how well it was written. The timing, the meter, the rhyming, it was unbelievable how good it was. They even did a little kind of rap rendition of it right in front of us. They kind of rapped it out. It was kind of amazing, right? Thought a lot about that. Really thought a lot about that. And I thought about what makes music music. A friend of mine out in Los Angeles is a film score composer. He's been doing it forever. One day he sent me a text. He said, check this out. An artificial intelligence composing program created this bit of music called emotional soundtrack music. Entirely created by artificial intelligence. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Flawless. Perfect. Perfect. Too perfect. Not human. When I'm in the studio and I'm recording, most of the parts you hear in my flutes are improvised. I don't go in and beat a song to death by playing it over and over and over and over and over. I like especially my flute parts, to live, to be alive in the moment they're created. I want to feel it when I create them. So when you listen to my music, when you listen to the flute parts, those are usually first takes. Because I want that to be alive in the moment, right? But here's the thing, I'm a musical mind, and I hear music, and I know how to play that instrument really, really well. But even as skilled as I am, I will hear a note that I think I want to play, and sometimes play a different note. Sometimes I'll pick my finger up and that wasn't the note I wanted to play. Now here's the thing, the note's not wrong. It's not musically wrong, right? But it's not what I had in mind. It's not perfect. There's a flaw in it. And so sometimes I'm tempted to go back and fix that. I've been tempted to go back and fix that note. Even though there's nothing musically wrong with it, it's not what I heard when I was wanting to play it. But sometimes I just let it be. And you know what's amazing? It's usually that note that anchors the whole song for me. It ends up being the anchor. It ends up being the part that I like the most. It's the part that I go, wow, I'm so glad I played that note. I'm so glad this song isn't perfect. That it's human. It's alive. It's living in the moment it was created. And that it decided to do a little creating of its own outside of my head. I love that. And so what I say to musicians and this gentleman who was giving the talk, what I say is, okay, go ahead, use AI if you want. But it's the struggle of creating a song that you lose in the process. It's the struggle. The guy talked about rising up from poverty and claiming his dreams. So AI could write about it? Really? You didn't want to write that yourself? You didn't have something to say? You'd rather have AI tell the story for you? You ever had somebody interrupt and finish your story for you? Really annoying, isn't it? Well, that's what AI is doing. They're attempting to tell our stories for us, write our music for us, write our poetry for us, paint our pictures for us. Take away our struggle so it can be easy for us. Well, I have news for my friend the presenter. Easy's not always right, and easy's not always the way. As a matter of fact, it pulls us further and further away from what's real, from what's outside that window there. The struggle of the natural world that we live in and that we're part of. So it's important for us to struggle. It's important for us to reach for those words, to reach for those notes. It's important for us to strain. It's also important for us to be imperfect, to fail. It's important to fail. Trial and AI knows nothing about that. There's no trial and there's no error. It's flawlessly perfect the first time. And it'll give you 4 versions of perfection. There's a lot of songs I've written that have never seen the light of day. They're in my studio, they just never made it onto an album. It's because they just didn't. Does that mean that that I shouldn't have done them? Sometimes what we're doing when we're writing and when we're composing, when we're writing poetry, when we're painting, it may not be the masterpiece. It may not be the masterwork. But it's building something. You're building a foundation that you can stand on, that you can step up on. It's like a staircase, and you're climbing, and you're reaching and striving and struggling so that you can get to that place where you go, oh, wow, I did this. I did this. No matter how small that thing is or big that thing is, that feeling of accomplishment comes from struggle. Having struggled is what gives it its beauty. And so I encourage you to not always choose the easy way. When you have a chance to apply yourself, try to learn something new, try to challenge yourself, take up that challenge. See what you can do. I guarantee you're going to fail. Guarantee it. And I guarantee you're going to struggle. But every little step along the way where something goes right, where you figure something out, where you learn something, where something opens up and a good thing comes because you put yourself in that place by working and striving and struggling with it, will be like getting a gold star. It'll feel good for your soul because you took the road less traveled.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, Navajo blanket weavers always leave a thread hanging. They always leave a thread. And the reason they leave that thread is for 2 reasons that I've heard, that I've learned about. One, they say that's to allow the spirit to kind of escape or to be able to go in and out of the blanket. That's one of their reasons. But the other reason that they leave that thread is so that you will know that it was made by a human. Because do you know there's a lot of machines now that can make blankets? But when you see a blanket with a thread hanging off it on purpose, you know a person made that. A human being, a fallible, imperfect human being weaved that beautiful blanket. And that imperfection is in there to show you that. Isn't that amazing? To remind us that as human beings, imperfection is part of our beauty. The struggle is part of our beauty. It's part of what makes you human. It's part of what makes you alive. So embrace the struggle, my friends, because it is in the struggle where beauty is born. Thank you.
Here we go.
Let us sit back in our seats, feel relaxed, and listen with our hearts to this prayer in honor of our guest today. It's a Lakota prayer, a very well-known Lakota prayer. So close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing so, and listen with the voice, with the ears of your heart. O great Spirit, Wakantanka, whose voice I hear in the wind, whose breath gives life to all the world, hear me, I need your strength and wisdom. Let me walk in beauty and make my eyes ever behold the red and purple sunset. Make my hands respect the things you have made, and my ears sharp to hear your voice. Make me wise, that I may understand the things that you have taught my people. Help me to remain calm and strong in the face of all that comes to me. Let me learn the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. Help me seek pure thoughts and act with intention of helping others. Help me to find compassion without empathy overwhelming me. I seek strength, not to be greater than my brother, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Make me always ready to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so when life fades to the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Oh, let us take these words into the silence now. As we return to the thoughts of this world, let us feel rejuvenated with the joy and the power of Spirit. Amen.
Hello, I hope you've enjoyed today's service. I hope that it has touched your heart, that it has impacted you in a positive way and helped you on your spiritual journey. I want to let you know that this center is fully supported by the generous donations of people that resonate with our message. So I hope you will consider giving by going online and giving a gift and helping us to continue this message. Thank you and God bless.
Announcements for your fellowship treats. It's not such a brand new sign-up sheet, but it is a sign-up sheet. We have one out in the foyer and we need you. We're still trying to decide whether we're going to have weekly or monthly fellowship treats. So if we're going to have weekly, we've got to have more people signing up. Right, Andy? Explorers Group meets Mondays at 9:30, led by our Domingo. We've started yoga classes, first Thursdays of the month at 5:30. The next one is June the 1st, coming up this Thursday. And it's a $5 per person fee. Help beautify and maintain our gardens. We're forming a garden committee to assist with planning, and maintaining a few of the garden areas around the church building. So we're soliciting green thumbs who may be interested in adopting a specific garden bed to care for. If this appeals to you, check with Karen McDonald. And also wanted to share that the Springfield Meditation Group has adopted the one out front. Yeah, Lori?
I'm sorry to interrupt your announcements, but I thought maybe this was the appropriate place to let everybody know that whoever knew Michael Breeze, that he had made his transition on Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't do it. Good news, it's one of those things.
Right.
So, if everybody could keep his family and his beloved pets in prayer.
Thank you for that. Yeah, Michael Breeze contributed very much to our center over the years and repaired a lot of things and did a lot of things. Yes. We will send love to him and his family in this time. So, yeah, adopt a garden. And we had a good time out here the other day adopting one of those gardens out there in our little meditation group, and we encourage you to consider that. Reminder, we have a prayer shawl ministry. It's a very important outreach in our Unity Spiritual Center, and people who knit or crochet, keep your shelves full with this loving service. You're welcome to contribute shawls, yarn, or funds to purchase. So we always need more. Yes, Elaine.
And I don't know if that says that, but all you have to do, if you know someone who needs support, go find one that you think they would like and give it to them.
It does say that. Thank you for sharing that, because I didn't say that, but it's really important.
Yeah, there's no charge for it.
And the times that I've given a prayer shawl, it's meant so much to the person that I gave it to. So next Sunday, Reverend Jen Dickey will be back. We'll look forward to hearing her message. Thank you to Sanctuary Flowers in honor of our loving mother, Donna Warner, and all mothers who care for us. We had a beautiful service last Sunday remembering her. It was really a beautiful, beautiful thing. And fellowship treats were provided by Jan and Andy, which is why we have so many wonderful treats out there. Ushers, Lori and Domingo, and Kelsey is our AV tech today, music director Tim Sanpalo, and me. And thank you to our wonderful guest speaker, John Tuhogs. That was a beautiful message, and one that, I think will resonate with all of us for a long time. Let us join together in the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous love. To take each moment and live each moment in peace
And now let's join together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.